Once upon a time in a small coastal town, there lived a man named Thomas. Thomas was tall and lean, with soft green eyes and hair that swirled like a brushstroke of midnight sky. Though he possessed a quiet charisma, behind his stoic expressions lay a labyrinth of anxiety and loneliness that haunted him relentlessly. Social interactions were monumentally challenging for Thomas, and he often found himself isolated in crowded spaces. He was a man of few words, terrified that his silence would betray him. And so, for years, Thomas hid behind this fortress of solitude, unable to articulate the storm of emotions swelling within him. One stormy winter evening, as Thomas lay cocooned in the safety of his room, he happened upon a small advertisement in the local newspaper. A hospice center was seeking volunteers to provide companionship to its residents in their final days. Something about this caught his eye, and he found his heart swelling with a strange mix of anticipation and unease. Despite his fears, Thomas found himself in the hospice center the following week, hands shaking and heart pounding. As he spoke with the center director, a soft, resolute voice whispered within him, "You can do this, Thomas. You have so much love to give." On his first day, Thomas met Leona, a frail elderly woman with a warm smile that belied her frailty. Her eyes, faded with time, shimmered like pools of soul-deep wisdom. Leona had been in the hospice for several months, with no family or friends to visit her. As Thomas sat with her, the weight of her loneliness resonated within him, and he found himself feeling a deep, inexplicable connection to this stranger. Over time, Thomas and Leona formed a precious bond, entwining their hearts and souls in ways they never thought possible. Even though her body was crumbling, Leona's spirit remained luminous and sinewy, filling the sterile room with a golden warmth that seemed to breathe life and light into the shadows. One day, with quavering breath, Leona asked Thomas if he would help her write letters to her long-estranged son. She had not seen him in decades, and the thought of her life ending without connecting with him one last time weighed heavily upon her fragile heart. Thomas hesitated but agreed, as he felt Leona had something truly meaningful to share with her son. As the weeks passed, Thomas transcribed Leona's letters, each one filled with both sorrow and hope. She acknowledged her past failures as a mother, but she also poured forth unconditional love and a final offering of forgiveness. Through these exchanged words, Thomas discovered the healing power of intention and intuition, realizing that the human spirit could soar beyond past mistakes and bridge the once impassable chasms of the heart. Though Leona's health deteriorated rapidly, she remained a beacon of empathy and grace, even on her deathbed. Her unwavering light and wisdom had illuminated the dark recesses of Thomas's soul, inspiring him to embrace the beautiful imperfections of the human experience. As he watched her light fade, Thomas felt a subtle shift within himself, like the first rays of sun penetrating the depths of a dense forest. Leona's passing was a quiet one, her spirit lifting gently from her body like a butterfly abandoning its cocoon. Thomas felt both grief and gratitude in that moment, his heart chakra expanding as if to encompass the entirety of their shared journey. He knew that the memory of Leona would forever guide him through the shadows of his own soul. And so it was that, with the help of a dying woman, Thomas learned to conquer his social anxiety and open his heart to the world. He discovered that through intention and intuition, he could show up just as he was, and it would be more than enough. Emboldened, Thomas began to live with authenticity and grace, forging connections with others who saw the beauty in his vulnerability. As the seasons changed, so too did Thomas's spirit, blossoming into a vibrant tapestry of self-acceptance, compassion, and love. In honor of Leona, Thomas continued volunteering at the hospice center, guiding others through their final days and bestowing the same balm of empathy that had once healed his own heart. And as he walked amidst the twilight and sunbeams of life, he knew that even when the journey was rough, his heart would remain steadfast, filled with light and the promise of the morrow.